Season 3 finale. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pucked Up Podcast. This is the finale of Season 3, episode 97. I know it's insane. We're wrapping up our third year. I'm Chris. Joined with me, as always, D Danger Mall, the regular squad. I know we didn't record last week. I hope you guys enjoyed the blooper reel.
Yes,
it was hysterical. Mall and I worked together editing it, and it was pretty great. It's pretty.
I held true to my promise. I did.
He did, in fact.
Man of your word.
Yeah, and he helped me pick out clips too. So,
yeah, it was a good time. Great bonding experience.
It was indeed. We have a bunch of draft stuff to talk about, so let's kick it over to D for our usual PWHL stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Well, so the PWHL's expansion draft was held on Tuesday, the 24th, and they welcomed 48 new players that night. The first draft, selected first overall by the New York Sirens, was Kristina Kaltonkova. She's a 23-year-old forward from Vlasem, Czechia. Vlasem seems right. And she played at Colgate University, where she just recently finished up. The first of 13 defenders selected was Haley Wynn, taken second overall by the Boston Fleet. She's a 21-year-old from Rochester, New York, formerly of Clarkson University. And the first trade of the night occurred ahead of the third overall pick when the Sirens traded veteran defender Ella Shelton to the Toronto Scepters in exchange for Toronto's first-round pick, third overall, and fourth-round pick, 27th overall. So then from there, they chose Patty Kazmaier, award winner Casey O'Brien, a forward from the University of Wisconsin, and 3 defenders followed. So there was a lot of defenders that happened. There was a couple other trades that happened during the draft, but a quick fast fact for you. 48 players selected overall, 30 forwards, 13 defenders, 5 goalies. 43 players selected from NCAA, 4 from professional teams, and 1 from U Sports. 43 NCAA players selected represent 18 programs. 4 professional players represent 2 leagues, the SDHL and the ZHHL. 1 U Sports player represents the University of British Columbia. And 6 nationalities were represented, with 24 being from the US, 17 being from Canada. Interesting that we see a flip here than on the men's side of the house, where Canada absolutely beats the pants off of the US. Czechia had 2 representatives, Finland had 2 representatives, Russia had 2 representatives, and Sweden had 1 representative. So that is the overall draft news. We also, just real quick out of the PWHL, also had information coming out about our actual award winners for the year. So first we had the Intact Impact Award, which is 1 player from each team who consistently went the extra mile to be a great teammate. These players displayed exceptional leadership, integrity, and unwavering commitment to their team throughout the season. In recognition, Intact Insurance will donate $20,000 to a charity that supports youth development. So the Boston Fleet had Jamie Lee Rattray, Minnesota Frost had Nicole Hensley, Montreal Victoire had Amanda Boulier, New York Sirens had Emma Facteau, the Ottawa Charge had Rebecca Leslie, and Toronto had Allie Monroe. The all-rookie team this year, our forwards, Roberta Curl-Salam, Sarah Fillier, Jen Gardner, our defenders, Kayla Burns, Anna Wilgren, and our goaltenders, Gwyneth Phillips. The second all-star team is Kendall Coyne-Schofield, Teresa Venasova, Daryl Watts. Defenders are Ella Shelton and Claire Thompson, and our goaltender is Erin Frankel. And our first all-star team is Sarah Fillier, Hilary Knight, and Marie-Philippe Poulin as forwards. Defenders are Renata Fass and Sophie Jakes, and our goaltenders Anne Renee Dusbin. Just so you guys know, this one comes with no money, I don't think, but it's just, fun, I guess. The PWHL Hockey Award for All, as presented by Scotiabank, went to Laura Stacey of the Montreal Victoire. She independently raised over $100,000 through her Sticks In for Charity road hockey tournament, and she has intentionally directed support to her under-resourced communities in both Toronto and Montreal, equipping schools with physical activity programs, providing access to sport for girls aged 12 to 17, and funding creative arts and sports-based learning programs for over 100 children in the 2025-2026 school year. This award is in recognition of the player who made the greatest impact in their community. Scotiabank is going to donate 10,000 Canadian to a Canadian charity of lawyer's choice that supports youth or grassroots hockey. Next up, we had the Coach of the Year, who went to Corey Chevery of the Montreal Victoire. She is a native of New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, and she helped Montreal to their first place in the PWHL standings for the first time in team history. Finalists for the awards were also Carla McLeod of the Ottawa Charge and Troy Ryan of the Toronto Scepters. The Rookie of the Year award went to Sarah Fillier of the New York Sirens. She is a 25-year-old from Georgetown, Ontario. She tied the league with 29 points in 30 games, 10 points higher than any other rookie in PWHL history. Her 13 goals ranked fourth among all skaters and included a league-high 5 power play goals. Our goaltender of the year was Anne-Renee Despin of the Montreal Victoire. She's a 31-year-old from Claremont, Quebec. She led all goaltenders with 15 wins, and her 1.86 goals against average and .932 save percentage were top marks amongst all starters. Renata Fast was our defender of the year. She is a 30-year-old from Burlington, Ontario. She tied for first in scoring among defenders with 22 points in 30 games. She led the league, however, with 63 hits and all skaters with on-ice time of 739 minutes and 45 seconds, which averages out to about 24:39 a game. For the big award of the evening, though, that is the Billie Jean King MVP award. And also, she conveniently won Forward of the Year, so we'll lump those two in together. That went to none other than Marie-Philippe Poulin of the Montreal Victoire. She's a 34-year-old from Beauceville, Quebecois, and she was the league's top goal scorer, tallying 19 times and adding 7 assists for 26 points in 30 games for first place. The captain accounted for 25.7% of Montreal's goals this season. That's crazy. A quarter of all goals for your team is a nutty stat to have. And it represented the highest share of a team's offense by any PWHL player, including a record 6-game winning goal and league high 5 multi-game goals. And like I said, she also got Forward of the Year. It's the same stats, so there you go, all in one announcement. Amazing job by the girls this season. Can't wait to see what happens with the 2 new teams coming into the league next season. So we will be sure to keep you updated on all of that.
I can't wait to see next
Rosters
season.
are
I'm so excited.
already kind of stacked.
Right?
Yeah, I saw it.
100%.
Wait, you mean to tell me the shock of Marie-Philippe Poulin winning the MVP? There's no way. This gotta be rigged. Dude, what an unbelievable season she had. Unfucking believable season.
Unreal.
I mean,
You guys think she'll be able to carry that forward into next season?
Hell yeah. I don't
They
see
just
her
need
slowing
to-
down anytime soon.
I love that.
No.
because she played this well last year too. Not like she didn't have numbers like this last year, but I mean, 19 goals in 30 games is crazy. That's a
Seems
pretty
like
goddamn good average.
It 100% seems like she found her rhythm this season, and we want to.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see it next year. Hopefully, she keeps up the momentum, like you were saying, Dee.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I think so.
It's gonna be awesome to watch that series, that entire league next year with 2 extra teams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It's
know
gonna be
if
dope.
Minnesota can repeat
More
this
time for
time
hockey.
though. I don't know if 3 in a row is possible, but I didn't think they would win it this year. So I guess
Hey,
you can
if
never
anyone
really
can
count
do
the
it-
frost out. Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota can.
Taylor Heisey
Their
carries
state of
carry
hockey
that
version,
motherfucker on
dude.
her back.
You're right.
Well, that wasn't the only piece of draft information that we have. As you guys saw by the thumbnail, we had the NHL draft, which I mean, I would say this year's draft was pretty straightforward. I don't feel like teams really veered too far out from like there wasn't that many insane picks. Obviously, New York Islanders picked Matthew Schaefer at number 1 overall, which it's an amazing story. If you think about not only things off the ice but on the ice, last year he only played 17 games in the OHL.
Mm-hmm.
He had mono to start the season, missed like 9 games, then broke his collarbone. He still tallied like 50 something points in 17 games. He had 22 points, 7 goals and 15 assists in 17 games. That is an unreal production. Oh, and by the way, he's 17.
It's wild.
He's but un bebe.
He is,
Dude,
in fact.
17 years old throwing up that numbers, like holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
But
read
do we
off
think
the
we
first.
see him? Sorry, do we think we see him start in the NHL? Like he's not going to be a Connor Bedard and going to get started right away. I think he plays a minute in the AHL, gets his sea legs, and then we see him second year possibly make an entry to the NHL.
I don't think he's allowed to play until he's 18.
I don't know when he turns 18 though.
I believe September.
So
September
that's before the
5th.
season.
So
yeah.
So he could, depending on when OTAs and stuff start, he could be eligible to play. But if not, if I were the Islanders organization, he has 1 year left of eligibility to play in the Canadian Hockey League.
Yeah.
So if I were the GM, that's where I would let him play 1 more year, because he missed out this whole past season with injury and sickness. Like, let the kid have 1 more year, and then if you feel he looks good enough, bring him up, or let him play a year in the AHL, get acclimated. Like, dude, you don't need to rush him, you know.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, if he was sick and had injuries and stuff, you don't want to put him into a bullfight yet. You know what I mean? Could you imagine some of the players in the NHL potentially check this kid? 17 years old.
Yeah.
That's scary to see him get put up against, like, you know,
Tom Wilson,
Tommy or
Tom Wilson
Chuck.
murder him.
You know what I mean?
Not even on purpose, but Tom Wilson would murder him just like with a glance.
Sam Bennett or Benoit, you know.
Sam Bennett, yeah.
Yeah, dude. They'd kill this kid.
I mean,
give him
he's
another
6'2",
year.
6'2", 186 pounds. So he's not tiny, but he's still a child against grown-ass men.
Yeah. And hasn't been hit by grown-ass men yet. Like, that's going to be a fucking wake-up call for him.
Yeah.
It's like putting a smart car in a demolition derby with semis. It ain't going to end well.
Yeah, let him go through training camp with everybody else to, like, you know, get a sense of, like, here's what's coming, bud, and then send him to the OHL for a year. I agree.
Yeah. I can read off the first round if you guys are interested to find out what your teams all did. So obviously, number 1 pick with the Islanders, Matthew Schaefer. Number 2 pick by San Jose, Michael Misa, a center out of the OHL. Chicago Blackhawks at number 3, they drafted Anton Frondell, a center from Sweden. Some of these last names I'm not exactly sure on. But Utah, I almost called them the Utah Hockey Club. I'm so used to it. The Utah Mammoth drafted Caleb Desnoyers. I'm not quite sure, but he is a center out of Canada. The Nashville Predators drafted Brady Martin, a center out of Canada. The Philadelphia Flyers at number 6 drafted Porter Martone, a right winger out of Canada. Finally, the first American went off the board for the Boston Bruins at number 7, drafted James Higgins, a center who played from Boston College. Number 8, Seattle Kraken drafted
draft message too. Like, to have Happy Gilmore be the one to do it, like, love
that.
it.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Number 8 for the Seattle Kraken drafted Jake O'Brien, a center out of Canada. Number 9, Buffalo Sabres drafted Radim Martka, I think that's how it's pronounced, a defenseman out of Czechia. The Anaheim Ducks at number 10, and we'll talk about this in the shorts. This is one of the coolest promotions ever. But they drafted Roger McQueen, a center out of Canada, which it's brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Number 11, the Pittsburgh Penguins drafted Benjamin Kindell, a center from Canada. Number 12, this pick was with like 4 different fucking people at one point this season. The Philadelphia Flyers, who acquired this pick from the Penguins, who got it from Vancouver, who got it from the Rangers, drafted Jack Nesbitt, a center from Canada. Number 13, the Detroit Red Wings drafted Carter Bear. Do we know if he's related to Ethan?
I don't know, actually.
I haven't seen anything.
I think so.
Let me check.
They both have brown hair, so like maybe.
Oh, he's Ethan Bear's cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
He's Ethan Bear's cousin. So
There we
shout
go.
out another Indigenous player in hockey. We fucking love it.
We fucking love
Um,
it.
Number 14, the Columbus Blue Jackets draft Jackson Smith, a defenseman out of Canada. Number 15, Vancouver Canucks drafted Braden
You good?
Coots. Dude, I had a fucking stroke for a second.
Yeah.
A center from Canada. Another pick that went to a bunch of people, but ended up number 16 with the New York Islanders, drafted Victor Eklund, a right winger from Sweden. Number 17, the New York Islanders had another pick, drafted Kashawn Atchison? All right.
Yeah. That's how I
Defenseman
heard
from
it.
Canada. I know these last names are wild. We have a whole bunch of new ones to get to know. Number 18, the Calgary Flames drafted Cole Reshney, a center from Canada. Number 19, St. Louis Blues drafted Justin Corbeau, a right winger from Canada. The Columbus Blue Jackets at number 20 drafted Pyotr Andrianev, a goaltender from Russia, as the first Russian. I think the
No,
only
really?
Russian to get drafted in the first round.
Let's go.
The name didn't give it away at all.
No. Number 21, Nashville Predators drafted Cameron Reed, a defenseman from Canada. Number 22, Pittsburgh Penguins drafted Bill Zonin, a right winger from Canada. Number 23, the Ottawa Senators drafted Logan Hensler, a defenseman from Wisconsin. Number 24, the Pittsburgh Penguins draft William Horkoff, a center from Canada. Number 25, Chicago Blackhawks draft Valkov Nestrasil, a right winger from Czechia. Number 26, Nashville Predators draft Riker Lee, who actually was pretty well known for the World Junior Championships this year. Right winger out of the United States. He went to Madison. 27, Washington Capitals drafted Lyndon Lekovic. Left winger out of Canada. There we go. Number 28,
6'4",
Winnipeg.
200.
Yeah, he's a fucking tank, y'all.
He's
And he's not even the biggest one in the first round. Just wait.
No.
Number 28, the Winnipeg Jets draft Sasha Boumedienne, I think. Boumedienne.
It's finished, so go for it. Yeah.
I assume. Defenseman out of Finland. He played at Boston University, though. Number 29.
Has a lot of players.
Yeah, they do. Here's the biggest motherfucker in the first round. Number 29, Chicago Blackhawks draft Mason West, a center from, I believe he's a Minnesota guy. Edina, right?
Yeah.
Edina. Yeah, Minnesota kid. He's 6'7", 218 pounds. Danger, what the fuck do they feed those kids in Minnesota?
Those good old
Jesus.
Scandinavian boys.
God.
That's how we grow up in Minnesota.
That's like, I was like, dude, who the fuck is this guy?
Fucking
Yeah.
huge.
Should be playing he's
Just huge.
that's a power forward in basketball.
Also-
the fuck?
My
It
God.
also notably on the thing says high-men. So does that mean it's a
He got
high schooler from
drafted
Minnesota
out of
and is
high
not
school.
yet being drafted out of high school? Is fucking 6'7", 218 pounds. The kid might not even be done growing yet. We don't know
Yeah.
if he's
How did he-
17.
How did he come out? Is the question.
Dude.
Usually
like-
head first.
Are you
Well,
talking about like
babies-
birth?
Babies
He was
tend to be quite a bit smaller when they're first born. And there's
Well,
this
no,
amazing
yeah.
thing called a C-section where they
I was
just
gonna
cut
say,
the mom's stomach open.
There's-
What was he
Yeah,
like?
rip him out.
20
And you don't
fucking
have to
pounds?
push a rotisserie chicken out of your fucking magoo.
Cut the motherfucker out.
He hatched
Right?
from an egg. He's like a dinosaur.
Yeah, he was a
Might be,
full-grown
dude.
man when he came out. Materialized because mom,
He
I'm ready
was.
for school. Go
He
work
won't
in
be
the
playing in the
mines.
NHL next year.
I will
Nobody-
say though,
He doesn't have to be afraid of anybody at fucking 6'7", 218. He's like, yeah, and?
The biggest
There were-
person in
Yeah.
the league.
there were a few high schoolers that got drafted, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's the only one in the first round, which obviously tells you everything you need to know about him.
I know there was the
number
second round,
30,
I think 34,
San Jose Sharks drafted
38.
this is a cool last name, Joshua Ravensbergen.
That is pretty cool.
A goaltender out of Canada. Number 31, the LA Kings draft Henry Brzustowicz, defenseman out of the United States. Didn't play college hockey. He played CHL hockey with the London Knights, which is, you don't usually hear that.
Yep.
And number 32, the last pick in the first round, Calgary Flames draft Colin Potter, a center out of the United States, played at Arizona State.
Also, Henry, if you want to tell us how to say your name, just leave us a voice note on any service that allows you to do something like that. You should just
hit us up,
call us. Yeah, bro. Help a girl out.
Yeah, like I said before, it's like you're reading off a lot of these. These are just teams that are doing what they needed to do. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary here.
Special shout out though to Simon Wang, who was the first Chinese player to be drafted in the NHL. He went first in the second round to San Jose Sharks. So he is the first, I believe, first ever Chinese-born player. I think there are people of Chinese descendants. You know what I mean? Of ancestry.
Another
first player born
tank.
in China.
6'6", 222 pounds. The fuck?
Yeah. The crazy thing is he didn't even start like really giving hockey a go until he was like 13 or 14 because they have like a lower, like hockey for them is obviously super recreational, not really competitive. And so his family decided to move him to Canada to give him a better shot at playing the sport and growing. And so he hasn't been playing high level competitive hockey for realistically that long because he's only like 19, 20, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He's a young dude. So shout out to Simon.
Hell yeah. When the hell was Minnesota's first pick? They didn't have a pick in the first round.
Like 4 years later is when it was. Fucking like 294th or something.
You guys, your first pick was 52nd. So you guys had a pick in the second round.
It might as well been 294th.
It was close.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know that at least with the fucking pick that we got for Trevor Zegras, we drafted a center. We could have gotten a first rounder for him. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, no, pretty straightforward. I like the idea of a neutral zone or a neutral site draft. You couldn't do like it made players or it made teams, really, really think about their next moves and stuff. So yeah, overall excited to see what these players bring to the league. And who knows, we could have the next future all-star, future superstar. Hopefully this Matthew Schaefer kid, lights up the fucking league like I think he will at some point.
Dude, what the Islanders did for him, I have the utmost respect for them as an organization.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
I was going to bring
amazing.
that up. That didn't get mentioned.
Because that is such a small thing that made such a huge impact to him. And then when the camera panned to his dad, who was in tears.
Yeah.
That kid and his family will never forget that moment.
Well, so his mom.
I think he had a picture of his mom in his suit too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
His mom passed away of cancer, and so they added a breast cancer awareness ribbon to his jersey when they presented it to him. That was just really.
They also embroidered his mom's initials in the collar.
Yeah.
Which was just,
dope.
Like, that's such a cool thing to do. And they had that planned because they had first round pick from the bullshit lottery that no one can still to this day figure out how the hell they pulled that out of their ass.
And fucking spots.
All of the accountants and hedge fund managers that they had running those numbers, no one knows how it happened. But it's just cool that they went in with a plan and they knew how to make it special. I mean, not getting drafted from Disney special, but the Ducks kind of had an unfair advantage with that one.
Yeah.
Shout out the new Lightning McQueen. Yeah, no, and with a lot of the stuff that's been going on with the New York teams and a lot of questions with um the Islanders as well as the Rangers, it's like that that's such a small gesture that I don't think they understood how far that goes.
Yeah.
Like you allowed a young kid to acknowledge, and pay respects to his mother, and that right there, you have said you've committed to that kid
Yeah.
and everything that he cares about. So
Right.
yeah, 100% hats off to the New York Islanders. And actually, this is perfect. We'll swap it around really fast, but shout
Yeah.
out to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Danger, do you want to tell everyone what they did in the draft?
So the Blue Jackets had Meredith Goudreau announce their, I think, 14th pick.
Yeah.
I remember correctly, which was lovely. I think it was Bettman that introduced her. I watched just like the first, couple minutes of the video, but was very, very sweet. She came out to a standing ovation and lots of cheers. And had some very sweet words to say for everybody and the support that she's been given over this last year. Since last August when Johnny died.
Yeah.
So it was very, very sweet, very, very touching moment. The video is out there on NHL.com if anybody wants to watch it. I would highly recommend it if you missed it.
I mean, it goes on for like a half a minute of them
It
just
does.
cheering and shouting Johnny
Yeah.
and stuff. Like it was
Yeah.
a really long intro for her.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was very nice.
That goes to show how much Johnny Gaudreau is beloved by the hockey community,
Right.
and how
Yeah, I've especially loved seeing that.
Yeah, well, and we said it too. It's like when it all happened, the outreach just of not only teams but players and fans of all teams reaching out to Meredith and the Goudreau family after everything went down. It's like it always puts into perspective, that at the end of the day, yes, it's competitive and this and that, but it's a game, and we all share in this love for all of these people, and the community gets together and they can do beautiful things, So
yeah,
shout out to the fans for being fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate too that it wasn't just like a moment. Obviously he passed in August or September of last year, and it could have just been that first game that Columbus really honored him in their first home game. It could have just been the first time that he played his former team, or that, the Blue Jackets played his former team. It could have just been all of those firsts. But we saw that it was more than that. It was, in the locker room for World Juniors, they had his jersey up. In the locker room for Four Nations, they had his jersey up. In the locker for IIHF Men's Championship, they had his jersey up. Any moment that you could show support to the Gaudreau family, the NHL has, the Columbus Blue Jackets have, and fans around the league have. And so I think it's really incredible that it's not just been a moment for them, that they've gotten to feel support through what's probably the hardest year of their life, the initial shock, and then having to deal with everything after that. And of course, having a baby too.
Yeah.
After your husband passes, I can't imagine getting to experience all of a baby's firsts without your partner. So the fact that the NHL has been so incredibly vocal, it's just been really special to watch, I think.
Absolutely. Well, we can't have the good news without the bad, clearly, D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always something. Although, this one, it's very, very sad, but it was announced just before we started recording that Alex Delvecchio, longtime center with the Detroit Red Wings, passed away at the age of 93. So at least he got to live a very, very long life. That is 93 is tough to get to. And you just can't ask for more than that, really. The Red Wings have released a statement. They said Alex was more than a hockey icon. He was a devoted husband, loving father, grandfather, great-grandfather, cherished friend, and respected teammate to so many. While the world knew him as an incredible hockey player with numerous accomplishments on the ice, we knew him as someone whose humility, strength, competitiveness, kindness, and heart were even greater than his professional achievements. For decades, your love and support meant everything to Alex and to all of us. We are deeply grateful and thankful for everyone. Which I just, yeah. Phil Esposito has made comments about Alex in the past. He said, when you think of the Red Wings, you think of Howie. Howe. I don't know why I added an I. But Alex is the most underrated player in the game today, underrated by everyone but the players. Bobby Orr also said, you've got to be sure to take the body when you check him. You can't play the puck on him because he's so quick and smart. He'll get right around you. So, I mean, some of the greatest in the leagues have mentioned what a great player and teammate he was. He was a native of Fort William, Ontario. He didn't learn to skate until he was 12 years old, but joined the Red Wings lineup at 19 years old in 1951 after one season in Major Junior League hockey and 6 games with Detroit's American Hockey League team. He spent 24 seasons there in Detroit.
That's crazy.
Which is insane. Some words that have been used to describe him are consistent, durable, gentleman, winner, leader, loyal. He only missed 43 games in his entire career due to injury, which again, durable is definitely the fucking word for that one.
Yeah. That's nuts.
He played in 13 All-Star games, was second team All-Star twice, and won the Lady Byng Trophy 3 times. He served as the captain for 12 seasons, a team record later broken by Steve Yzerman, of course. And even at age 41, was able to put up 18 goals and 71 points in 1972 when he was still fucking playing. He retired after playing 11 games in 1973, finishing his career with 1,281 points and 383 penalty minutes. He then was a coach. He was also a general manager, switching back and forth between the two. He retired and was second all-time in games played assistant points and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1977. They retired his jersey, number 10, on November 10th, 1991, and he was named to the 100 Greatest NHL Players in 2017. In 2008, he had a statue unveiled inside Joe Louis Arena, and it was placed next to similar tributes of Howe and Lindsay in the main concourse. And at the time when it was unveiled, he said, all we wanted to do was play hockey and try and win some games. So to the Del Vecchio family, our condolences. We can't imagine how great of a loss this is for you. Thank you so much for sharing Alex with us. He was very active in charitable work in Michigan and in alumni associations and everything. And we are so grateful that in his twilight years, he was still remembered and loved as a great and brilliant man. So condolences once again.
Oh yeah. We celebrate the life of a legend. And the beauty is a player like Alex Del Vecchio's career will always live on in the annals of hockey history against some of the greatest names of all time. Speaking of Canadians, we'll kick it over to our Canadian to talk about a famous Canadian that is calling it a career.
So this was literally announced 20 minutes before we started recording this podcast today on Tuesday, July 1st, that well-known analyst Bob McKenzie has decided to fully retire. He was kind of half retired. You know, he was covering the World Junior Championships, the NHL draft, and a handful of, Toronto Maple Leaf broadcasts and some free agency stuff. But he decided today of all days to make it his last day and officially retire. So Bob, who will be 69 years old in August, decided after 48 years in the industry, and he's worked for the Sault Star, the Globe and Mail, the Hockey News twice, the Toronto Star, TSN, ESPN, and NBC, amongst other broadcast and reporting agencies, that this was it. He figured he wanted to go out on his own terms, and he wanted to kind of ride off into the sunset. And, it's kind of a perfect day to do it because it's Canada Day. It's a celebrated holiday. It's the end of the free agents, and it's a Canadian holiday. He picked the best day to do it.
the start of free agency, but considering
yeah.
everyone decided they wanted to fucking
Yeah.
sign with all their current teams yesterday, we've had nothing to talk about. So
Yeah,
It's pretty much all over. The free agents have already been like, no, we know where we wanted to do.
Pretty
go. We
much,
know what we
yeah.
wanted to do. It is over. We're done. And he said he's looking forward to traveling more with his wife Sydney and having more time with his son Mike and Sean, and get to hang out with his two beautiful grandkids. After almost 50 years of the business, there are far too many people to thank individually, so I won't even try to name it, just in case he accidentally leaves some out. He said, I couldn't say goodbye without saying a special thanks to everyone at TSN, past and present. I never in a million years thought that I would work on a television set. All I wanted to do when I grew up was be a hockey writer and have a job to watch, write, and talk about the game I love, which is every Canadian's dream. This has been a very special place to him on so many different levels to be part of the TSN, and working with some of the best people in the world. And he's a very lucky guy, and he owes the game of hockey and the people within it, the players, the coaches, managers, executives, scouts, agents, etc. so much. I owe my family and friends even more. Finally, a thank you to everyone who has ever read, watched, listened to any of my work in any form on any outlet over the last 48 years. It has been a privilege to share some information with you and try to have a few laughs along the way on social media or whatever they're calling it these days. I'll cherish it forever.
I love that.
What a perfect send off.
Yeah.
To one of the greatest hockey analysts, I'd say, ever. I mean, Bob McKenzie, we all know the name. If you don't know the face, you know the name, and you've definitely seen him somewhere.
Or
the dude's
at
a
least know
legend.
his voice for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, he's even been in fucking Letterkenny. Like,
Yeah, right.
the dude's been everywhere. So yeah, congratulations from all of us at Pucked Up to Bob McKenzie on a wonderful career. And we know that this is by no means you walking away from the sport. We know we'll see you somewhere pop up because that man breathes hockey.
Yep.
Oh, he'll get
Mo-
the itch by the time hockey season starts. I guarantee it.
Oh, he'll probably be like, "Fuck, I gotta go to at least one like Maple Leafs game or something."
Let me sit behind the desk again, damn it.
Let me try just once for an intermission. We're gonna keep it with you, Maul, because the Stars have found their replacement for Peter DeBoer.
Yeah.
They did. And, I feel like you guys are really setting me up with the last name on this one. So, Coach G, first name Glenn, not even going to try to pronounce his last name because you guys get no more content out of me this season. This is it. We're at the end, okay?
We think it's Gullitzin. We think it's Gullitzin.
Or Gulitzin, something like that. Anyway.
Watch it be like Gary. Glenn Gary. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like not
Gary just
even
ran-
close.
It's not even fucking spell Gary, bro. It's a silent
50
U.
So the 53-year-old who's going to replace Peter DeBoer, who was fired on June 6th and returns to the organization that gave him his first opportunity as an NHL head coach. So Stars fans, you already know him. Hopefully you love him because he's coming back.
We'll find out.
On his first, in the 2 seasons before he was fired in May 14th of 2013, the first time, he went 64, 57, and 9 in 2 seasons. So he almost broke even. That was very close. So I can see why he was fired the first time. Why is he coming back? I don't know. He was an Edmonton Oilers assistant coach since May 25th of 2018 and part of the coaching staff that guided them to the Stanley Cup final in each of the 2 past seasons. Coach G is 146, 125, and 23 in 294 regular season games, coaching the Stars and Calgary Flames with 0-4 in Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm going to be honest, these stats aren't really impressive.
That's not great.
Nope, I don't know what Dallas is doing with this.
Greggles might have the heart. You know what I mean? That could be it. Yeah.
Greggles.
We can't pronounce your last name, so Greggles it is.
So Dallas is leaving a 50, 26, and 6 advance in the Western Conference Final for the 3rd consecutive season, 2024-2025, after a 5-game loss to Edmonton. I don't know. They did pretty good this last season. I'll be honest.
I think the strategy here is we should take one of the coaches from the team that beat us because clearly they're doing something right. So if we just take one of their coaches, then we'll have something right and we'll beat them next year.
Yeah.
This
That's I think that it's reverse psychology here.
this feels very Anaheim when they fired Randy Carlisle, then brought Randy Carlisle back a number of years later. I mean, the Sabres just did the same shit with fucking Lindy
Mhm.
Ruff. Like, well,
Yeah.
it worked the first time a little bit, right? But it
Yeah.
didn't work. But now you've got the experience, so come back. We'll try it again.
So it's
Right.
funny you say that because that's how Dallas posted about it. They said, "We are thrilled to name Glenn as the head coach of the Dallas Stars," Nil said. Since his previous time in Dallas, Glenn has worked tirelessly to establish himself as one of the most respected coaches in the NHL. Is he though? I mean,
We don't know how to
it's-
say his name. We're calling him Greggles. So is he
Fucking Greggles.
the most respected?
It's also they might be able to get away with that because it's very slim pickings since everyone's been fired this year.
Yeah.
So you can't say he's the worst coach if there's no coaches to kind of compare him to. His extensive NHL experience, both as a head coach and assistant coach, speak to his ability to innovate and adapt to the modern game, as well as build relationships with his players. Glenn has worked with some of the best players in the world and continually found ways to maximize their skill sets to contribute to team success. We have full confidence that he's the right person to elevate our team to the next level. So it sounds like they couldn't find someone to replace Peter DeBoer. And they were like, yo,
I wonder what
you
Glenn's
want to give it
doing.
another go? You want to
Like
give
when
it
you
another
call
go?
your ex?
You're kind of an assistant manager right now. How do you want to try being a manager? Like,
I know. This is the hockey equivalent of I should call her.
It's 100%.
no, absolutely no disrespect to Coach G, but I'll be
No
honest,
disrespect.
your stats as a coach aren't anything wild and crazy and nothing that's like, oh, we're gonna get the cup next year. Now, hopefully next year maybe I'll be eating these
It can
words, but
Yeah, but to think of it this way, he's inheriting an inherently better fucking team than he had in 2013. Like the Dallas Stars are cup like worthy. They could win a cup
Contenders, yeah.
easily. They are contenders in the biggest sense of the word. I mean, you've got one of the best goaltenders in the league. Jason Robertson's a savage. Like the team is built better than they've ever been. So he's got an opportunity to succeed. But
it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Check back in to see our report next year on whether or not they sucked ass or did fine.
I hate to say it. I mean, he's sticking around, so he's not one that got fired and couldn't find a team because there were a few.
There are still a few. D.
Yes.
We've had some pretty notable trades in the past couple days.
Dude, yeah, we have. First of all, let's take it back real quick because I know Christy filmed a short on it, but I think it needs to be in a main show. Fucking Anaheim traded Trevor Seacrest to the fucking Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, they wanted him to be reunited with his best friend. Totally get that, but still, WTF. Chicago picked up Andrei Burakovsky. Seattle got Mason Marchment, which was shocking. From Dallas.
What the fuck?
Yeah, did not see that coming. The Preds picked up Eric Holla, which also crazy. Evander Kane went to the Canucks. He just was like, you know what? I'm tired of this part of Canada. Let's go over to that part of Canada.
And then got jumped.
Sure.
By a bunch of people in Vancouver.
Right.
Which is
insane.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Also, again, we say this on multiple episodes throughout the years. Fans, y'all gotta get it together. You can't literally abuse players, and you also shouldn't be like verbally or online abusing players either. Cut it the fuck out. That's fucking weirdo behavior.
Like,
be a normal person.
Regardless of what our thoughts are on Evander Kane, we have never once condoned anyone being physically assaulted by a group of people. Like that's unacceptable. In
fucking stupid.
So Evander, we talk shit about you, yes, but buddy, we hope that you heal up good because that's crazy. We hope you're good to go and we hope you're ready. Honestly, if I were him, I'd ask for a trade immediately. Be like, no, I'm good. I'd
be like, my first day here, I get fucking jumped. You know what? Maybe this isn't the place for me.
100%. And you know what? No one can be upset at him for that too, because that is bullshit way to treat anyone.
Front
Yeah.
office would be like, yeah, I guess. No, that's reasonable. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, JJ Paterka went to the Utah Mammoth.
What is
Interesting trade
Buffalo
there.
doing?
I don't know. I really wish I fucking
Stop
understood it.
trading all your good players.
Yeah. Yeah. Columbus
Page will
picked
be
up
gone
Charlie
tomorrow.
Coyle and Miles Wood, which was notable, I guess.
That's a
Um,
good. Those are good pickups for Columbus. They're
It was a
getting
good
better.
pickup. It was just kind of random. It just came out of nowhere, I guess, is how I would phrase that. Detroit took John Gibson away from Anaheim, and in exchange, Anaheim got Peter Mrazek. And then, like, also some other stuff, some picks and whatever, yada yada. They're not this year. Nobody cares.
How about Noah
Just
Dobson?
weird.
Getting traded to
Noah
Montreal.
Dobson too. Mm-hmm. That was a big one. From the Islanders. Again, Islanders, what the fuck is happening over there? Don't understand.
They're getting better.
Caps and Minnesota had a little switcheroo on some defensemen. We got Declan Chisholm and they got Chase Prisky. Okay, sure. I
Right.
was confused for a second because the Vancouver Canucks now have Ilya Safonov, and I thought that was Samsonov, and I was like, he wasn't with Chicago, but no. So now there's all kinds of Ilyas running around. That's fun, I guess. Also notably, sorry, having a scroll. There's a lot of like pick trading going on. It's this pick for that pick. Nobody cares. Genuinely,
Because
nobody
the
gives a
draft
shit.
already happened, so
Right.
Yeah.
none of them are relevant.
We'll deal
Yeah.
about it. We'll deal with it next year.
It was interesting though that the Preds got Nicholas Hague from Vegas in exchange for Colton Sissons and Jeremy Lazon and a third-round pick. And I was like, interesting. I don't even
I'm
know Nicholas Hague. Lazon I know though. So
Nicholas Hague is real
Weird.
good, but I'm shocked they gave up Sissons. That's a shock to me.
yeah, Sissons and Lazon and a third-round pick.
Hague is
Hague.
good, so I mean,
I don't know. Is he that good?
he is good.
We'll
He's
have to
very
find
good.
out. Minnesota got Vladimir Tarasenko, which was a big,
That's a
I think actually a good
huge
get for them.
move.
I think that's going to be
Huge
really good
move.
for Minnesota. Oh, you're muted.
I think you're muted.
Or your headphones cut out. None
Or
of us can
Mike.
hear you. I did see you say motherfucker, though. I can lip read that one.
I wonder how.
There we
We
go.
can hear you.
There we go.
No, my PC did the thing where it just says
Yeah.
I'm not muted and disconnects my mic.
There
Oh
we go.
yeah.
But no,
But
I'm
hey,
excited
Tarasenko.
about Tarasenko. I think he's gonna fit in well. I think he's gonna do good things. I was really
Yeah.
excited to see him come our way.
Yeah,
I mean,
think it's a good
and
pick for you
And
guys.
it looked like we re-signed Rossi and somebody else.
And it's a matter of time before the
Yeah.
Kaprizov
Oh
deal
yeah, no,
gets-
Corell.
gets-
It's literally
I'm,
just
I'm
waiting to
not
print
worried
it.
about. Yeah,
It really,
yeah.
that's what it is. I mean,
And it's gonna
Tarasenko
be
is
like
coming
another
off.
7 or 8 year deal
Oh,
again
of course.
for Corell.
Yeah.
Tarasenko is coming off of a bit of a rough season, though. I mean, 33 points
Yeah.
in 80 games with Detroit, but Detroit struggled this season. So I don't want to
Yeah,
blame that on
Detroit was
him. The
Detroit.
year before, he had 55 points. Like, I
I
think
think it also could have been the vibes. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Yeah.
people struggle
Yeah.
because of the vibes.
The
Let's be
vibes-
real.
I think Minnesota
and
is a
I think he
great
was
place for
injured for
him.
part of it. Like it,
Yeah.
I think it was just all around a tough year
He
for
played
him.
hurt, yeah. But I think
Yeah.
Minnesota's a good system. I think the way
Yeah.
their style of play, Tarasenko will fit in really well.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think he'll do many good things.
The next big news was, as of July 1st, the first thing to hit the wire that morning was that Vegas Golden Knights got Mitch Marner from the Toronto Maple Leafs in
Yeah.
exchange for Nicholas Roy or Wow.
And a sign and trade deal. So
Yeah, it was a sign and trade deal. It
they
was a lot of
signed
it was
him for
like 8x12 or something.
8x12, yeah. Which is
By
funny
12,
because
yeah.
the Ducks would have paid him more, but
Yeah, I know
So-
y'all have the cap space.
Here's the thing though that I've been seeing is
Yeah.
there's potentially like Toronto has hinted that they may launch an investigation into this
there's a lot of
because
tampering.
yeah,
Really?
because Mitch Marner has this whole last season stopped going to all team functions, completely pulled back from a lot of the team, canceled his fundraiser event in Toronto, which he's had for the last 9 years, and Toronto is accusing him and the Vegas Golden Knights of tampering.
Which
There
that's
is
a
a potential investigation that's going to go into this because, like Chris just said, there are teams that would have paid him a lot more because Mitch Marner was
Yeah.
the fastest player in the Maple Leafs history to hit 600 points.
Anaheim was
So
willing to pay
what
him more.
happens? What happens though if the investigation turns up tampering? Is Vegas no longer allowed to have him, or do they
I
have
think
to pay
Toronto's
out
going to get a
that
lot of
stack
this.
cash?
Yeah, and
Interesting.
there's probably going to be suspensions and penalties if
Mhm.
it's
Dude.
proven.
Season 4 is going to start with a bang, y'all. Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Let that investigation happen.
because here's the thing, like Toronto fans are pissed because Mitch Marner has like been a staple for the last 9 years, and he grew up in Toronto. Like I get like you want to explore, go out and see the world more, and like try different things. Like I fully support that, right? There were so many teams foaming at the mouth to send him an offer for him to take an 8x12 from Vegas.
There were at least
there
3
was
teams that were willing to
something
pay
that
him
happened.
14 to 15 plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some collusion there. I have questions because he just
I
was
mean-
willing to sign and
But
trade.
let's say there is a world wherein it could be that Mitch is like, if I'm going to leave Toronto, the only place I want to go is to Party Town, USA, aka
Or the
Las
fact that
Vegas.
he's going to a team
You know what I mean?
that didn't need him, so you're just gaining the opportunity of yet another
yeah.
amazing player on an already unbelievably stacked roster to
He
just
doesn't have
go
to
now.
carry a team anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He just has to go win a cup. And
So
again,
there
that's
are some things here
100%
where it's not
speculation.
collusion. Yeah.
Yep, there's 100% speculation, but I'm heavily deep into Toronto Maple Leafs fan,
I know.
surrounded by
Yeah.
the fandom of the Leafs, and that is all over the friggin' net.
Who,
Is
I
yeah,
say bring on an
people are
investigation. If you got
pissed.
nothing to hide,
Give us-
investigation should be no problem for you.
give
Absolutely.
us something to talk about in the
Absolutely.
summer. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
hell
like
yeah.
not like the Vegas Golden Knights haven't been in the limelight in a negative way in the past,
Right.
anyway. So
Yeah. So that was the biggest one. And then Victor Arvidsson actually was just picked up by Boston Bruins for a 5th round pick. Yeah, not much else. I mean, there were other
Sabres
trades too, but there
traded
was
Sam Lafferty to the what are we
first
why
6th
are
round pick next year.
trading all their players, bro?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Canadians picked up Zachary Bolduc, but like that's not really as notable. But yeah, some interesting trades, some cool stuff. So while we are off between now and September, there's going to be some things that happen. A lot of the signings already did happen, so there's not a lot of like UFA stuff happening.
The Ducks
or is
signed
likely
Mikhail
to.
Granlund to a 3-year deal. That's really the only exciting thing I've seen anywhere.
The thing is that you never know what happens in the off season.
No.
We could see Kane request a trade. We could see somebody else who, had 3 years left on their deal and is like, get me the fuck out. I've changed my mind.
Connor McDavid.
We don't know what'll happen.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid. 100% Connor. So that's where we are as of today, y'all.
What a
yeah.
bunch of crazy drama, huh?
Yeah.
For real. For real.
Jeez.
Maul, you have our question of the week.
Yeah, so this is kind of a personal one to you guys. What are some of your favorite moments of this past Pucked Up season?
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's a good.
We're wrapping up, huh?
Because this is it. We're done
This
after
is
this.
it.
And
Season 4.
we started with a not so great time in the show.
No.
Obviously, our first episode was like a week or like not. I think maybe less than a week after the Goudreau's passed.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a low light.
Yeah.
I think for all of us, I think we all can agree that we were hyped to see Gabriel Landeskog come back this year.
Yes.
Yep.
That
What
was
a
a good
cool way to
moment.
come back to. What a
Yeah.
highlight.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna go that, I have to say one of the coolest moments is Alex Ovechkin breaking the goal record.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Oh my
because,
God, yeah.
like, that's a moment of hockey history that other people are going to talk about in 50 years. And we'll forever get to be like, hey, do you remember where you were when it happened? And so to watch it, although I did not get to watch it in real time, but I heard it on the radio, and that's close enough.
That's cool.
And I didn't get pulled over for driving recklessly,
Driving
which I
erratically.
probably was.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I mean, and the cool part is that lives on in our YouTube channel and our
Yeah.
social medias, because I was fortunate enough to at least be able to catch my reaction to it live.
Mhm.
And obviously it doesn't mean as much to me as it would our resident Capitals fan, but just
Yeah.
as lovers of hockey, I think none of us really gave a shit who he played for, and he was all of our
Yeah.
hometown hero that day.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest moment
Absolutely.
in hockey
That was
history.
a dope moment. Yeah.
Brad Marchand winning the cup after being traded is a cool moment.
What a big
I don't know.
F you to Boston, and I fucking love it.
I was gonna say, I don't know if Maul actually liked that, but
No, I'm glad. I mean, dude, to be fair, Marchand's Four Nations jersey is the only professional hockey jersey that I own.
that's true. That's
That's
true.
true. That's
I'm
true.
And the good
I'm a
thing about it being
Marshy
Four
fan.
Nations is that it doesn't matter if he goes to any other team
Yeah.
because Four Nations
It's-
he'll always be Canadian.
He'll always
Hell
be
yeah.
Canadian.
I think
That's
technically.
one of the reasons I
I don't
bought
think
it.
anyone
Yeah.
can take that away from you.
No, unless he really messes up. but to be fair, like I've always been a Brad Marchand fan, and like I like the Maple Leafs, but there's not really a team out there that I'm like, oh fuck that team, I can't stand them. Hockey's hockey to me. I'll watch any game you put
Yeah.
on in front of me.
Yeah,
I
got a
just meant that
couple
like
I feel
the
that way.
Bruins is like your area. That's the closest team for
Yeah.
you, and
That's
so watching
our-
them do
yeah,
dumb shit
that's
is
our
kind of gotta
market.
suck, dude. Yeah.
It definitely makes it fun when I want to rub it into people's faces that
True.
live locally. I'm like, oh, your team sucks.
And when you're
Can't
not a
even get to the
Bruins fan
Cups."
living in New England, it's way
Yeah.
funnier because
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the whole Maul and I are just shitting on them, and like that's technically our in-market team
Yeah.
Why do you think I like the Yankees and I live all the way up in Maine?
Yeah.
to piss off New Englanders.
Fair.
It's amazing.
Danger, what about you? What are some of your favorite moments?
Marchand was gonna be mine.
Yeah. It's just such a good moment.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Him getting a little sweet justice on the shit way that he was traded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was definitely a highlight. And of course Obi, Fleury retiring is happy, sad. I'm happy he got
Where's
to do it
that?
for Minnesota.
But he had a great last season.
He
He
did.
did.
Yeah.
He had a good send off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad that Minnesota could do that for him. But yeah,
Do you
those
think-
are kind of my big three.
So not on topic, sorry, Maul. But do you think that that we see Fleury stay engaged in hockey as like a coach or as a color commentator, or like do you think he stays in the hockey world, or do you think he's like, you know
I
what,
think-
I'm gonna sunset and live my life peacefully?
I think he maybe takes some time to be with his kids. I mean, his kids are still, grade school age. His oldest might be going into middle school soon.
I
I'm
think
not
she's like
sure.
12, 11,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. But so I could see him taking some time, but I think he definitely makes appearances.
Mm-hmm.
He goes
here
the
and
route
there
of
for-
Roberto Luongo, essentially. Takes that time away and then does come back in some sense. Or he does a
Yeah.
Hank and we see him on
Ugh.
TV as an analyst.
That man is so fun.
Yeah, but I think that he takes a little bit of time with his family.
Oh, of
Make
course.
some,
yeah.
like one-off appearances, maybe this first season away. Maybe a little bit longer, and then
I'd give him 5 years,
eventually
probably.
ends up. I don't think it'll take 5. I think he'll miss
No.
it too much after 1.
That's you know what? That sounds very Marc-Andre Fleury.
Right?
I guess just like selfishly, I want to see him as an analyst because I think Prank Wars with him as an analyst will be
Him and
top tier.
Biz,
Oh, could you imagine him and Biz
Yeah.
though? Like,
or
That's
him
what I'm
and
saying.
going
Like,
back
I
and
need
forth.
that. It would be
him
so
or him and
fucking good.
PK.
Oh yes.
If
Yeah,
he
I would
does
love
go,
that.
if he does go back to, like become any sort of front office representative or anything, in my
Yeah.
mind, there are only two teams that I think he does that with, and I think that's either Minnesota or Pittsburgh. Because while he said he enjoyed his time in Vegas, Pittsburgh is the place where he
wasn't.
had the most of his success, and I'm pretty sure we all got the gist that Minnesota was a second home for him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think with his kids being the ages that they are and with school that they spend at least some time here,
yeah,
at least temporarily. But
Right.
and
Which
I
makes
think that
sense.
they had said that at one point too, was that was his plan,
yeah.
but I might be wrong on that.
I think
Love
selfishly for all of us off the ice, being able to have grandma hang out with us one more year, I think is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And shout out to Danger for the beautiful patch that sits on the screen.
Yeah. Really
Yeah.
special.
She gets to ride with us, so
Yeah.
I can only imagine what her favorite moment would be this year.
Jesus. Well, she wasn't a Marchand fan. She
No, so
wasn't
she would've
really an
hated
Ovi
that.
fan. She wasn't a Flirty fan. So I don't know what her favorite moment would have been this year.
Did she like Gabriel? Because
Um,
he's a Minnesota boy, isn't he?
Landeskog.
She liked Gabriel. I did see that Granlund got
no.
signed with Anaheim. She was a big Granlund fan.
3 years
Yeah.
we signed
Um,
Mikhail Granlund.
Yeah. Big Granny fan. But she even had a Granlund jersey for the longest time.
Because he's a Minnesota boy. He played there for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, it's I don't know what she would say this year. Probably something dumb, but
Or she would have been like
Really,
the Evander Kane stuff we could hear in the background. Good! This should have beat him up.
yeah. No, I mean she probably
I
would have
shouldn't go
said
that
that for
far.
the laughs, but she
Oh, yeah.
hated the bullying shit more than
Yeah.
I mean
7
not to say he
seasons, Mikhail
probably didn't
Granlund.
deserve it, but he still didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's bullied a lot of people in his time on the ice.
He's done a lot of
That's
shitty
true.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a
but-
lot of shitty stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to say that my favorite things of the season were A, predicting that the Oilers would go almost all the way.
Yeah. I mean, you were wrong, but you were close to being right.
It was almost there.
You were right adjacent.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
2, getting to be part of the inaugurational year of the Pucked Up Fantasy Hockey League.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone's
Yeah.
least
Good point, good
favorite thing
point.
is that I won.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and
is everyone's least favorite.
no one's surprised. And 3, getting to become full time with the podcast.
Aw.
That's really sweet, Mo.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's been fun hanging out with you guys from the end of last season, being a guest star, to coming back more regularly at the beginning of the year, to you guys making the
Full-time.
wild and crazy decision to ask me to come on full time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Best.
yeah,
We don't
it's been
regret it
fun.
yet.
No, not yet.
Give us another year.
All I
No,
have
yeah.
to
Change
say,
our minds.
Falupa.
Well, Lupa, my
The
favorite
single
thing from Taco
greatest
Bell.
clip. The single greatest clip we have on anything that we have for
Yeah.
Pucked Up is the best shit ever.
I laughed so hard that night.
I'm gonna fuck it up.
I
I
really
know
did.
it.
I'm
I
gonna
know
fuck it.
it.
I was right. I knew I was gonna do it.
He
Yeah.
says Phil Pula perfectly 3 times, then Falupa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
good.
god.
My favorite Taco Bell moment.
Oh, it's the best.
Taco Bell sponsor us, please.
Right?
Please
Come on,
sponsor
Jesus.
us.
We
You
talk
don't
about you guys
understand.
enough. Like
I
3
give
of our
you-
I will
most
yeah.
eat
popular
Crunchwrap
clips are
Supreme.
involving you guys.
Literally,
air,
I give
if you
you
sponsor us.
guys. Yeah, I will literally bathe in fucking carne asada sauce. Like, you don't understand. I live off a Taco Bell. Please make me happy because I don't want to
Okay.
spend $10 on a fucking quesadilla anymore.
Dude, I know.
now I want
Quesadillas
fucking
have gotten
Taco
so
Bell.
expensive for
So
flour and
stupid.
cheese.
It's so stupid.
But also, we love you, Taco Bell.
Yes. Well, to round out this episode, I think it's time one more time this season for the obscure NHL Player of the Week. Hey. This week our player, where is it? There you are. Okay. I lost my tabs for a second. Our player this week is a player by the name of Cam Connor. Cam Connor. There we go. We got it.
2 strokes,
I'm not
one
even.
episode? Wow.
Jesus Christ, I'm sober too. I don't know what the fuck my problem is.
Chris is really excited for the vacation he's about to get from the podcast.
Maybe I'll learn how to fucking speak. Come back, maybe I'll get hooked on phonics during the summer.
I'll take classes with you. We'll do it together.
We'll fucking learn how to talk. Cam Connor, born Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, was a right winger, a left-handed right winger, drafted 2 different times. He was drafted twice in the 1974 season, 5th overall in the NHL draft by the Montreal Canadiens, and 4th overall in the WHA draft by the Phoenix Roadrunners. He played 274 games in the WHA, 83 goals, 88 assists, 904 penalty minutes.
The man likes to fight.
Jesus Christ. 23 playoff appearances, 5 goals, 4 assists, 92 penalty minutes, but that's not the stats you're here for. You're here for the 89 games he played in the NHL. He played with the Montreal Canadiens, Edmonton Oilers, New York Rangers. Those are the teams that he spent his time for in the big leagues. 89 games, 9 goals, 22 assists, 256 penalty minutes. Homie, your number shouldn't be double in the games. He had 20 playoff appearances, 5 goals, 6 penalty minutes. He retired in the 1983-84 season. This man, read off some stats really quick, and then a couple cool facts. Stanley Cup champion with the Montreal Canadiens in 1978-79. The West Coast Hockey League Rookie of the Year with the Flin Flon Bombers in 1973, which
I'm sorry,
what a
can you
terrific
repeat
fucking
that?
name.
What a great
Flin
fucking
Flon
name.
Bombers. I don't even know where the fuck that is. Where's Flin
10 out of
Flon?
10, no notes.
It's
what do you think their
Manitoba.
mascot was?
I don't know.
Manitoba, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe a fucking moose? I don't know.
The Flim Flom Bombers are wearing bomber jackets and they're just moose.
They're just moose. He was selected to the WHA All-Star team in 1977. He was inducted into the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame in 2016. And for my wrestling fans out here, this bridges some gaps because he grew up best friends with WWE Hall of Famer Rowdy Roddy Piper, and they stayed friends until Piper's death.
Okay.
Which
awesome.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But shout out to the boy who in 89 career games still managed to win a Stanley Cup with the team who has the most Stanley Cups. Another cool fact, the team that drafted him in the WHA, the Phoenix Roadrunners, that name may sound familiar to some of you because the Tucson Roadrunners, the American Hockey League affiliate of one Utah Mammoth, well, they used the name and the logo. The original logo that was used for the Phoenix Roadrunners, obviously their colors have since changed to match what is the former Arizona Coyotes, but the Roadrunners still technically live on in Arizona hockey because of the name and the logo. I think it's pretty badass. There is no word on what the boy Cam is doing currently. He just kind of, I guess, is killing it with whatever he's doing. So shout out Cam Connor for being our obscure NHL Player of the Week. Hooray! We did it! Now we SEMO. Did it.
Last one of the season.
It is that, and it is very sad on that bombshell. It is time for us to end. thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all the love this year. It's been a spectacular season. No one guessed my favorite color. Should I just tell
I think you should
everyone?
reveal.
Should I
Yeah.
just tell
I
everyone?
think no, wait. I think that should be a season 4 opener.
Ooh, okay. All
Okay.
right. So you guys
Fair
will have
enough.
to tune
Feel
in to
some
season
suspense.
4 to
Yeah.
find out. Episode 97, you guys. This is fucking crazy. We're
I
almost
know.
100
Yeah.
episodes in. It feels like just
We are.
yesterday that D Danger and I were like, let's start a fucking hockey
Let's do it.
podcast, guys.
Yeah.
I
I love it.
We just want to express our love for all of you that watch us and that follow us. You guys mean more to us than you'll ever know. If
Mhm.
you're not following us on all of our socials, make sure you're doing that. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Let you know anytime we upload anything new. If you're with us on Spotify, make sure you're following. If you guys could write a review, if you're listening to us on all audio forms, give us a review. I found out we were 36th on the hockey podcast list. So
There you go.
you guys, let's get that to number 1. Let's make these
We're
4
getting there.
randos from the fucking internet. Let's give us a platform. Fuck you, spitting chicklets. I'm kidding. Biz and Wit, you'd fucking whip my ass.
Be a guest on our show.
Yeah,
we
just
would.
come hang
Like,
out with
yes,
us,
can
Biz.
we please do a crossover?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am so in. Jocks
Not
and
even. It
Jill's
doesn't even have to be a
podcast.
crossover. You could just come hang out with us.
Oh, for sure.
You don't want
Even the Jocks
four
and Jill's
nobodies
podcast.
on your show.
We've
Oh,
called you
yeah.
guys out too. We love the PWHL as well. Come hang out
We
with
do.
us.
Mhm.
Anything you guys want to add before we close out this season?
I don't think so. I think you said everything.
Yeah.
We'll see you all in the shorts.
In the shorts, indeed. And from all of us here at Pucked Up, we will see you mother puckers next season in the face-off circle.
You got one clean
Hold on, we
outro.
gotta try this again. Peace, love, puss, suitor. I feel a lot better now. Okay, bye.